Today, we are breaking down a really big deal for workers all across Minnesota. It's a brand new program called Paid Leave, and we're going to go through everything you need to know, how it works, who it's for, and what it really means for you.
Just think about this for a second. What if you needed to care for a sick parent, or welcome a new baby, or maybe recover from a serious illness yourself? What if you could actually do that without stressing about your paycheck, without having to choose between your health and your rent?
Well, guess what? For pretty much every worker in Minnesota, that's not a what if anymore. A new statewide program is making this a reality. So let's dive in and see how it all works. So here's our roadmap. We're going to look at what this program is exactly. We'll figure out who's covered, when you can actually use it, and of course, how it's all paid for. And then we'll get to the most important part, your rights and protections when you need to take that time off. All right, so let's start with the absolute basics. What is this new program really? At its heart, Minnesota Paid Leave is basically a statewide insurance program. Think of it like a safety net. It does two absolutely crucial things for you. First, it gives you some of your wages while you're on leave. And second, it makes sure your job is safe while you're gone. It's not just about the cash, it's about having peace of mind. So when does all this kick in? Well, the benefits themselves start on January 1st, 2026, but you'll want to keep an eye out for info way before that. Your employer has to let all current employees know about the program by December 1st, 2025. Now for the million-dollar question. Does this actually apply to you? Let's take a look at who's covered. You know, the simple answer here is almost everybody. Seriously, the coverage is incredibly broad. It doesn't matter if you work for a huge corporation or a tiny local shop. It doesn't matter if you're full-time, part-time, or even a seasonal worker. And for independent contractors out there, you can choose to opt in too. It's really comprehensive. Okay, there is one little financial requirement you need to know about. To get the payments when the program starts in 2026, you'll need to have earned at least this much, $3,900, from work in Minnesota over the past year. It's just to make sure you have a recent tie to the workforce. So you're almost certainly covered. The next logical question is, what kind of life events actually let you use these benefits? The program is pretty much split into two big buckets. First, there's medical leave. This is for your own serious health issue. Think recovering from a surgery or anything related to pregnancy and childbirth. Then you've got family leave, which covers a whole bunch of stuff, like bonding with a new baby or taking care of a sick family member. You can get up to 12 weeks for each of those. So what happens if you have a really tough year and need both? Let's say you have a major surgery, and then a few months later you need to care for an ailing parent. Well, the program allows for a combined total of up to 20 weeks of paid leave in 1 year. That's a huge deal. That's a significant safety net to handle life's biggest hurdles. This all sounds great, but let's be real. Where's the money coming from? Let's break down the funding. It's a shared system, kind of like other insurance programs you're probably familiar with. Both employers and employees chip in a little bit to a single statewide fund. Now, the total amount an employer contributes depends on how big their company is, but what really matters to you is your part of that contribution, and that's the same for everybody. And this is your number. The absolute most that can be taken from your paycheck is 0.44% of your wages. That's less than half of 1%. Your employer pays for the rest. So to put it simply, for every $100 you make, the most you'll ever contribute is 44 cents. Okay, so we've got the what, who, when, and how. Now for the really practical stuff. What do you actually do when you need to use this, and what are your rights? The whole process is designed to be pretty simple. First, you just give your employer a heads up that you need leave. Then, and this is key, you apply directly with the state, not your boss. You'll do it right on the official paid leave website. They'll review it, give you an official decision, and if you're approved, the payments come straight to you. Now, this might be the most important part. The program comes with some really powerful protections written right into the law. Once you've been on the job for 90 days, you have a right to get your job back. Your employer has to keep paying their share of your health insurance, and it is completely illegal for them to punish you or retaliate in any way for using this benefit. You know, the state's own slogan for this puts it perfectly. It's about making time for the moments that matter. It's really about letting people be there for their families and for themselves without having to face a financial catastrophe. So what's the big takeaway? A massive new benefit is on its way for Minnesota workers. The best thing you can do now is get prepared. Head over to paidleave.mn.gov.